What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about The Last of Us HBO series, episode 3. We're doing a little series on this channel, going over the entirety of the first season of The Last of Us, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. I've had a lot of fun talking about this series. I'm so glad that The Last of Us is relevant in the year of 2023. It just makes me so nostalgic. I've been wanting to download the game again and beat it for like the 7th or 8th time. Because this is just a franchise that I love. You know, I love post-apocalyptic stuff, and so I hope you've been along for the ride. Let me know if you have. If you haven't, I'll try to pin both reviews at the end of this video. I might even pin it up at the top of this video now. If you wouldn't mind checking those out, showing some love, and let me know what you guys think about the episodes prior. And we can agree to disagree. There's nothing wrong with having differences of opinion. I just want to give you mine because me and the wife just watched it. I have some thoughts on it. And yeah, that's what I'm here for now. So again, thank you for clicking on the video. We really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind liking this video and subbing to the channel, because we have a lot of fun stuff planned. And podcasts on every other weekend and a bunch of other videos. And we will be back again for episode 4 of The Last of Us as well, which we're super excited about that. So with that being said, let's talk about The Last of Us HBO series, Season 1, Episode 3. So, let me just start off by saying this, man. Look, this show so far, I've been like, I got a love-hate relationship for the final product that we've gotten. I don't hate the show by any means. Listen, I made a TikTok probably a couple hours before the filming of this video, and I'm already having some people leaving comments on the TikTok, which I don't care. Look, listen, we're all open to opinions. I have no problem with, listen, if you love this episode, if you found something you love about this episode, that is fantastic. I'm really happy for you. I really am. If you found something great about this episode that really reeled you in, that is fantastic. I mean, what can I say? What can anybody say that can make you feel differently about the episode? I don't think it's fair for me or anybody else to tell you not to like something. But I think I'm going to tell you the reason why I didn't really care for this episode all that much. Listen, it's not a bad episode by any means. Let me just get that from the jump. Listen, before I watched the episode, I was hearing from a lot of people saying 10 out of 10, best writing the show's ever done, the best show on TV. You know, I'm hearing like a lot of praise, right, for this particular episode. And then I heard the exact opposite. This episode's boring, this episode's slow, it's trash, yada, yada, yada. I found myself in the middle because I see a lot of good things, and then I see some things I don't really care about. Not necessarily bad, just things that I personally don't really care for. I'm just more of, okay, let's move on. Why are we focusing one episode on this? And it's like, it's fine. It's not like it's terrible, but it's more of like, okay, this is a 9-episode season. You're focusing on things and certain characters that I feel like you could be putting this time towards something a little bit more worthwhile. So let's get into the episode. Listen, this episode is a Bill episode. And I just want to say, Bill from the game is obviously a highlight of that original title, of part 1. Bill is such a memorable character. He's a dickhead. He's very abrasive. He's not very trusting at all, even for the people that he knows. Even people like Joel, like he knows Joel. It still is like, yeah, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? That's how Joel is. He's hardened. And because of that, he's very memorable. It's very memorable being in his town, with all the booby traps set up, and like literally you have to watch where you step, or you might like be in pieces, in seconds. You know what I mean? And that was a really, really interesting part of the game. And I know, like, again, I've beaten the game 6 times now, and every time I get to Bill's town, I'm like, dude, I love it. I love the way it looks. Love the way all the buildings look, and how he has all these traps set up, and it's really, really interesting. And you see that Bill is such a intellectually sound person. You know what I mean? Worry wart, but you have to be. And you're gonna grow hard in a world like this, right? You're gonna be hardened to the point where there's no return. Caring for people is hard because everyone that you've cared for is either dead or they left you. And So it's believable for Bill to be that way. And so I love him in the game. He's not like that here. Yes, untrustworthy. Yes, he has his, he's got a bunker. He has a bunch of guns and ammo and a bunch of other supplies because he's more of a prepper. And I've known some of those in my own life, And, that was pretty cool. I like that setup. But then you meet Frank, and Frank is mentioned in the games. It's definitely a different story in the games. In the games, Frank leaves him a note, and pretty much Frank just doesn't like Bill at all, which is why he committed suicide in the first place. He couldn't stand living with Bill anymore. So they go a completely different route here. They're deeply in love. Him and they meet because Frank falls in that trap that Bill had set of the hole in the ground, and then from there they lock eyes. And really, I think what really put the nail in the coffin was for their relationship. Is when they were playing piano in his living room, and Bill started to play and sing, and you see the look on Frank's face, like, okay, this dude is something special. They kiss, and you see them grow together. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not nice to see, right? You see Bill, he's isolated, he's away from everyone. He's very untrustworthy, and he meets somebody, and he's very untrustworthy of that person too. And then he grows to enjoy them in his life, and he realizes he can't live a life without them. I get that part, and I'm one of those, like, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's understandable. Like, I get it. But I can't help but just be frustrated with the fact of we didn't get to see that hardened Bill. We didn't get to see the Bill from the games, and that's where I'm disappointed, and where I'm a little frustrated in general with it. Is the fact of the way the episode went. You see the relationship, you see them get closer, you see he's still very untrustworthy. Bill is, excuse me. Frank is very more open. He even invites Joel and Tess. You see Tess again. That was great. And you see their relationship. A little bit of stuff that they hinted at in the games, and I was like, okay, this is setting up to be kind of interesting. And then it just goes sideways, man. Frank gets sick, and Bill is taking care of Frank, and Frank is like, listen, he wakes up one day and he's like, listen, man, I've done this song and dance. You've taken care of me. We're old. I've done everything I want to do in life. I got to meet you and be with you, and I'm ready to die. And of course Bill's upset about that. And, he just got told by someone that he loved that, they don't want to live anymore. But Bill understands, and Frank, suggests the pills to crush him up, put in his wine. He'll drink it. And come to find out, Bill does the same thing to his drink, because without Frank, he feels like, he's done everything. He feels like he met somebody. He lived a life. He's old now. It felt like it was his time to go too. And that was the shocker. That was a real shocker. And it sucks because I keep thinking about these iconic scenes from the games between him and Joel and him and Ellie. And it didn't get to that point, man. By the time Joel and Ellie get to Bill's town, he's already dead. They find the letter. It mentions Tess, and it's pretty much his goodbye letter. And that was a pretty kind of a heartfelt scene, because Tess is mentioned, and Joel is very, very broken up about that. He's trying not to show it. It just really sucks, man. The potential, because I love the guy they picked to play Bill. He plays Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec. I think that's his name in that. And I'll probably put his name up on the screen here. That guy, I thought he did a decent job. I thought Frank, I thought he was okay. Some of his line delivery was a little off to me, but all in all, it was fine. I was just really, really disappointed with with the route they took for Bill's character. I didn't care if they want to explore him, but here's the thing: if you would have had a whole episode dedicated to Bill, I'm fine with it, as long as he's going to propel the story forward. Not just have a way for Joel to get a truck and him and Ellie just drive off. I was really, really hoping that it would be more impactful like the games, where they have some time together, and maybe even Joel learns something from Bill a little bit, And I think that would have been cool to see, man. At least for an episode. You just have one episode on one character who's already dead. Like, you can't even build them up anymore. You can't give them any other characteristics or anything special to their character, or add anything in, or flush them out in any kind of way, because you've already killed them. So I just was really disappointed with that, and my thing is too, I just wasn't very emotional towards Bill and Frank's scenes. I get it, they were in love, but I just, I didn't really feel it like that. I don't know, something was off about it. It's like their chemistry was off. I don't know, just something was off, and I don't know what it is. And when you're talking about situations like this with a gay couple, it's always, you if you don't just love it immediately, you're like, oh man, you're homophobic and all that stuff. Let's listen. No, that's definitely not the issue here. My thing is, it just seemed off to me. You know what I mean? Like off putting. I'm seeing Bill do things that Bill didn't do in the games, and I know, again, I say it in every video, and I probably everybody else who reviews The Last of Us, all of us probably say the same thing. Oh, well, the games did this. Oh, and the games did this. Oh, and the show sucks because the game. Like, I have to stop that. But it's so hard not to compare the source material to the show. It's so hard to do that because these characters are so well written and we love these characters and they're just so beautifully written. And so like when you see it in a different medium and they're not up to par with what came before, man, it just really hits hard, man. And I just think that I just didn't have the attachment towards Bill like I did in the games. And to get away from Bill for a second, Joel and Ellie, they were in the episode for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Their parts were okay. They're growing on me a little bit. I will say I'm still a little skeptical on Pedro Pascal as Joel. I think he definitely, he's starting to definitely look the part, especially towards the end there. He was wearing exactly what Joel wears in that part of the game. He's growing on me, but I still feel like his line delivery is still not as good as Troy Baker in the games. And same goes for Ellie. Like Ellie, she's decent. Bella Ramsey, again, she is Ellie through and through. For sure. Sounds like her. Definitely acts like her. Nothing off on her at all. It's still not Ashley Johnson. And again, I gotta stop it. What I need to do is from now on, and I think for a lot of people who review movies and TV shows and on their respective channels, there's a lot of us out there and all of us have our own flair, I think what we all need to do collectively is to stop comparing the source material to the show. And I know it's hard, but we're going to have to because this is a different retelling of a story that we are well aware of. I mean, a lot of us have already beaten the game several times. Maybe not as much as me, but there's people that have beaten it several times over. And so I think that's how we got to look at it. All in all, man, look, it's an average episode. To me, it's 5 out of 10. I don't know why people are saying 10 out of 10. I don't understand it. I'm like, and I mentioned in my TikTok video, and I might even maybe try to upload a little bit of that video. I might try to upload the video to this video, but maybe I'll tag it at the very end. But I talk about it in the video, and I was joking when I said it, but I was like, people want to compare The Walking Dead and The Last of Us so bad. And I'm sitting here like, okay, people literally bash The Walking Dead for having episodes like this, right? With well-known characters that you care about. And people complained about that shit. But then they're praising it over here in The Last of Us TV show. I'm sitting there like, I don't, it's the exact same damn thing. Like, it's not like they try to make it overly emotional, but it doesn't hit to me. It just wasn't hitting me. Like I looked at my wife. My wife was, I could tell it was hitting her a little bit more. But I think it's whatever touches your senses and your emotions more. To me, I just did, and I'm not just like, oh, look at me, buff, bravado guy. Like that's not what I'm saying. I just didn't feel what I think they were trying to make you feel. And look, listen though. If it made you feel something, that's great. And if it did, let us know down in the comments. I'd be curious to see what you say. But I think it's an average episode. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I think I've been rating each episode. I'm going to have to go back and look. But, if I had to get the premiere, I think I get the premiere like an 8.5 out of 10. The second episode, I think I gave it roughly around the same, maybe a little bit lower. I'd say this is a 5 out of 10. I think this is the weakest episode, in my opinion. I just thought that focusing on Bill wouldn't have been that big of a deal if he was still alive. If he was still alive, I would have been fine with it. But clearly he's not, and I just thought it was a big waste. And I just feel like the show has been taking a lot of things out the story. A lot of the game's biggest moments, it's like they're removing it, and or rushing it. And like I said, I just think we got to get into this mode of not comparing it to the games because man, it's just unrealistic expectations at this point. So anyway, With that being said, let me know what you guys think about episode 3 of The Last of Us TV show on HBO. We're gonna keep it going, man. I'm gonna keep it. Look, I'm enjoying it. All in all, listen, it's a decent show. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's not this 10 out of 10 show that everybody's saying, but it's decent, okay? And if you think it's 10 out of 10, that is great. But I don't see it. But that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see. You know, I am excited for episode 4, man. And I'm excited to have a show to tune into every week. I missed that. I missed having that feeling. So, with that being said, this was a pretty long review, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you in the next one. Stay dead, my friends. What's up, you cucks? That's right, I'm talking to you. That's right, I'm calling you cucks. These toxic-ass Last of Us TV show fans talking about how this is like perfect writing and perfect storytelling. Listen, all jokes aside, if you like this show, I'm never going to tell somebody not to like something. But come on. Everything they have done up until this point, Walking Dead has done it the same, if not better. And I'm not a Walking Dead dick sucker, but a lot of you fans out here who bashed The Walking Dead for years on episodes like episode 3, now all of a sudden it's like great writing. Are you kidding me? Toxic ass fans are so hard to talk to and so hard to reason with when it comes to things like this. Anyways, I don't even know why I'm even making this video. I just think it's hilarious. Listen, I don't think it's shit. Matter of fact, I got a review coming tomorrow for episode 3, and I didn't hate it, but it's the same shit that people have complained about for Walking Dead for years, and all of a sudden it's great. God's social media is a bitch.